Welcome again, everybody. My name is Karl Egloff. I was born here in Quito and I grew up in this amazing country. Of course, my name is not related to Ecuador because my father is a Swiss father. But I can tell you a lot about Ecuador as my father was a mountain guide and I grew up actually in the mountains with him. Instead of going to school early, I was spending a lot of time in the different huts, watching these amazing sunsets and everything. So I know Ecuador very good. Even when I went to studies to Switzerland, I came back here because I got in love with Ecuador as such an amazing place with 4 different worlds. So I would like to introduce you Ecuador. First of all, these endless possibilities that you have here in Ecuador with a huge diversity of ecosystems. Compared to our neighbor countries, Ecuador has less distance to different vegetations, which makes Ecuador unique. You can cross the Andes to the rainforest or even to the coast, to the Pacific coast, or take a plane to Galapagos, everything combined in a few days or even in the same day. So this is what makes even for us, the local people, an amazing experience. On weekends, for example, if we are living in Quito, we have endless possibilities, go rafting in the rainforest or take the bike in the Andes or even go surfing on the Pacific Ocean. The distances are really short. I think the farthest way for us is probably 8 or 9 hours drive and you are on the other side of the country. So it makes really unique this amazing distance. Ecuador adventure highlights, well, the only place in the world where you can combine islands, ocean, mountains, and rainforests in such a small place. As I was telling you before, this is what makes us unique. The rainforest is really deep Amazon rainforest where some places haven't been touched yet. On the mountains we have Andes with 6,000 meters, 5,000 meters, endless 4,000ers, and the Pacific Ocean is amazing. 1,000 kilometers of coast with a lot of beautiful places and a lot of activities that you can share there. The great air and land connectivity, well, definitely what makes us also a good travel country is that we have a lot of airports in such a small place. Cuenca, Guayaquil, Quito, we have 2 international airports, which is the most important one is Quito and the second one is Guayaquil. By car it would be 5-6 hours drive, but with a plane it's a 30-minute flight. And we have on the rainforest and on the coast and on Galapagos many different airports. The infrastructure definitely. Sometimes people ask me, well, but if we want to climb a mountain, how many days are we away from home? It's just 2 days. And you have always the next day a beautiful lodge in front of you with amazing places, with very special traditional food, because Ecuadorian food is worldwide famous. And every time I'm abroad, I miss our food because it's really healthy. You have so different varieties, and the lodges, they are also unique. The awards are considerations from the adventure in Ecuador. Well, Ecuador was the host of the Adventure Week this year, the ATA. This was a completely success. It was really good. It was amazing. They could see a lot of different places in Ecuador and a lot of spots which are adventurous. Also last year in November there was the Adventure Racing World Series 2014. What is that? This is actually the most important adventure race, a combination of different disciplines: orientation, kayaking, biking, trekking, hiking, and combined with rivers and beautiful landscapes. The winning team did 6 days non-stop without sleeping. So this is for crazy people, but it promotes a lot our amazing country. I have been racing this kind of races a lot of years, so it's a special love about entering the different vegetations. The Avenue of Volcanoes were declared by CNN as one of the best places for horseback riding. Definitely this has been become a very important and popular sport again. This horseback riding is back to the roots, actually back to our tradition, back to our Inca tradition. So it's really a beautiful thing to do here in Ecuador, because it's combined with culture, it's combined with small places in the Andes which are untouched, some of them. Galapagos, among Lonely Planet, most incredible dive sites. Definitely, even for me, I think is one of the most amazing places to dive, to see sharks, to see all this amazing underwater world, and combined with an amazing weather. Of course, there are other reefs in the world which are amazing, but as soon as you are in the water, you want to go out as soon as possible because it's cold. But this is not the case here in Galapagos, because you don't want to go out the water. It's so amazing, warm and beautiful and chilly to be there, and combined with with the ambience on the ship or even on the beach with all this amazing fauna. Really, really, I recommend you. Montañita hosted the World Master Surfing Championship. Well, Montañita is a place in South America where a lot of people talk about surfing. A lot of Argentinians, Chileans, they are coming here for holidays for surfing. Once again, the water temperature is amazing in Ecuador, 21 to 25, even to 26 degrees Celsius. Makes it, of course, a place where you can surf hours and hours. It's not really a place where you need a wetsuit. You can be on the water many hours. 2005, it was the World Rafting Championship in the river Quijos. This is one of the many rivers going from the Andes down to the rainforest. We have hundreds of rivers going from the Andes down, and Quijos is a very fast river with an amazing landscape. Our 4 different worlds. Well, Galapagos, I don't have to tell a lot about Galapagos because I'm sure you know a lot, even more than me. It's such an amazing place, a unique place, protected by the UNESCO. But I would like to talk about the adventure activities that you have here in Galapagos. Hiking, biking, surfing, kayaking have been developing a lot. There are many different options to do, especially right now, hiking in, for example, Isabela, biking in San Cristobal or Isabela, surfing in many places, San Cristobal especially, kayaking between different spots and reefs, just amazing. Snorkeling and scuba diving in the marine reserve. Well, scuba diving, as I said to you before, is definitely under the top 3 worldwide to do it in Galapagos, and snorkeling also for any amateur. You can see a lot from above. It's really, really amazing. And the addiction to adventure and journey of discovery, this is something very important to talk about. Galapagos is not a park where you can do hundreds of activities. We try to protect the island. We try to don't leave any trace, don't leave any path. This is why these activities have been developed softly with the environment, but definitely have been growing a lot. The Pacific coast, 1,000 kilometers, which would be 621 miles from north to south. Well, the activities here also have been growing a lot. The main population of Ecuador concentrates on this world, on this Pacific coast vegetation, where especially because of Guayaquil, which is the most amazing and biggest city here in Ecuador. You have here surfing, paragliding, kite surfing, biking, trekking, ziplining, and scuba diving. Surfing, as I said to you before, in Montañita, concentrated there. There are Spanish schools there where you can combine surfing in the morning and do some Spanish lessons or dancing lessons or food lessons, whatever you would like to do, combining always culture with sports. Paragliding, there are 3-4 spots where you have constantly 24/7 good wind to do that. Kitesurfing have been developing 5 years ago. Nobody knew anything about kitesurfing, and today there are schools, there are a lot of spots, a lot of hotels concentrated in this activity. Biking, which is the sport I do, I got 8 years as a professional biker worldwide to represent my country, and I know a lot about biking, and the Pacific Coast has been host of many biking events, biking competitions, biking national championships. So I know a lot of spots which are unique, and you can, as I said to you before, you can combine the competition afterwards with the ocean and do some surfing or relaxing, or even spend with your kids some time on the beach. Scuba diving also, we have the mini Galapagos Islands, which is just very close to the Pacific coast, just 1 hour by boat. This is called Isla de la Plata, and this is en la Ruta del Sol. I will explain you later on the map, so you can you don't get lost. In Ecuador Pacific coast, the Humboldt current, as you know, the Nino, creates also some different varieties of weather conditions. The waves, they grow a lot, so for adventure it changes a lot when the Nino comes. It is normally around September, October each year. The Andes, this is my backyard. This is where I grew up. This is where I spend my weekends, where I spend my daily time. Well, I'm a mountain guide since almost 20 years. I've been climbing Cotopaxi more than 100 times. So I can tell you many things about this amazing sport. Hiking and trekking in Ecuador is definitely a destiny where it's open for everybody. It's not a country where you need a lot of experience. It's not a country where you have to be the professional mountain climber, but there are also mountains where you need experience, where you need really a lot of experience, but there are other mountains where you can go up with your kids. 4,000, there's 5,000, there's 6,000, we have the closest mountain to the sun. What does it mean? From if you measure the world from the middle, it's the closest place to the sun. It's Chimborazo. Chimborazo, with 6,310 meters, is an emblematic mountain, a legendary mountain. It's our only 6,000er here in Ecuador. And there you have 5,000ers. Many of them are easy to go up, and other ones, as for example Cayambe, Antisana or Cotopaxi, are glacier mountains. So the experience of combining hiking and trekking and acclimatization is really something that I recommend you. Combined afterwards with culture, with markets, and with beautiful, for example, even with a train that you have here, and Otavalo, and beautiful other places that I will go deep further on. We have more than 950 kilometers. So if you go back to the coast, there are 1,000 kilometers. And if you see the Andes, they are also around 1,000 kilometers. So it's exactly the same distance, dividing western and eastern Cordillera. This is the beginning of the Great Cordillera Blanca, where it goes further on in Peru. But in Ecuador, there are many people coming, for example, even for acclimatization, for Aconcagua or for Himalayas. They come here to Ecuador on the beginning of the year. And about the best season to climb in Ecuador, it would be October to February. It's where the weather is the best to climb the glaciers at night, because we climb our glaciers here in Ecuador at night, because the sun is very strong during the day. So as soon as the sun is rising, the glacier gets warm, and definitely the safety is at night. But of course you are at sunrise on the summit, which makes it, of course, unique. The Amazon region, well, the Amazon region, as I said to you before, some places are untouched, some places we don't have been, nobody has been before. They are protected. Hiking on jungle trails, kayaking, whitewater rafting, especially all the water activities have been growing a lot in the in the rainforest. We have towns like Tena or Coca, where they have many different operators for rafting, for kayaking, and all these water activities. And what it's so amazing, if you get a shower here, it's like a warm shower because you are in the rainforest. You are at 400 meters sea level. So if you have been on the Andes, if you have been hiking and trekking on the altitude, and you go down to relax on the rainforest, you are really feeling very good and very warm. It rains mostly every day, but on the mornings it's rare that you get a rain shower. So you can enjoy with water activities, and on the afternoon you can relax on a beautiful lodge. Some of them, they are very eco lodge without lights, with candlelight, really romantic ones. Other ones, they are very sophisticated. So whatever you are looking for, you will find here in our environment here in the Amazon. A great adventure in the tropic rainforest. Definitely you can combine also further on with hikes and treks in the middle of the rainforest, just wandering the fauna and the animal world, and also the flora in the middle, all the medicine that you can find inside the rainforest, and of course the legends and the Quichuas and all these amazing places where you just need some time to discover them. Ecuador's adventure top 9, the most popular adventure activities in 4 worlds. As I said to you, the 4 different regions that we have of Ecuador. We have many different, not just these 9. We have over 30 different activities related with adventure, but this one are the most developed ones and the most focused one here in Ecuador, which is the zip lining, the paragliding, the rock climbing, biking, trekking and climbing, rafting, diving, surfing, and all the different water activities, horseback riding. And these ones I will go deeply to explain you in which parts of Ecuador they are focused. And of course, if you have any other question further on for other activities that are not mentioned here, please do not hesitate to ask us. Zip lining, well, the geography of Ecuador with all these regions that we have, that goes up and down and up and down. This is why it's a paradise for me for training. If you go out the house, there you'll find mountains everywhere, and this is the right thing for zip lining. So you have a lot of cable connections from one valley to the other, and down there you see a lot of rivers, you see mountains, you see animals, you see flora, and you can do that also in the altitude. So you can acclimatize having fun, which is also something very important, because a lot of people say, I want to climb all the mountains, but without doing acclimatization it's boring. Well, here in Ecuador it's not the case. You have a lot of fun, and you will miss some days because you will discover, as soon as you are here, so many things to do. Zip lining are focused in 3 different places. These are 3 of many other spots that you can do this activity. In Bucay, which is the place where the rivers from the Andes, they flow from the Andes, they go all the way down from the Andes to the rainforest, as well to the coast. In Bucay is where it's just close to the mountains. The weather is not really cold. It's completely the opposite. It's already coast weather, and you have a lot of different rivers coming together. This was the end of the adventure race called Huayracinchi 2 years ago. So hundreds of teams arrived to Bucay, and nobody wanted to go home because they discovered this adventure place. Mindo, which is just 1 hour away from Quito. Mindo is also one of the most amazing bird places in Ecuador. You see here hundreds or thousands different birds, and you can combine also zip lining and water activities here. Baños, which is the capital in Ecuador for adventure sports. From Baños, there are a lot of different rivers going to the rainforest, going deeper on. Paragliding, this is a sport where 5 years ago nobody was talking about here in Ecuador. With the internet, people were getting to know this amazing sport, and today there are hundreds of people coming to Ecuador to do this sport, especially because Ecuador has a huge mountains not far away from the ocean, so the wind conditions are really amazing for all these air sports that you can do, also kite surfing and paragliding. This sport is focused in 3 places. Well, you have also other places which are not mentioned here, but these ones are the most important one. Crucita, which is a connection from the Ruta del Sol. Ruta del Sol, they are around 300 kilometers coastline where you can combine mountain biking, you can combine paragliding, trekking, and different activities. Actually doing the hotel hopping for every day. So this is one of the most amazing places to do a combination of trip. I will talk about a little bit later on this presentation about this circuit. Then on Pululawa, well, Pululawa has a lot of history. Pululawa was one of the biggest volcanoes here in Ecuador. Actually, legends tell us that the mountain was almost 6,000 meters high, but the volcano was one day active, and right now there is just an amazing huge hole, and is even amazing to imagine that if you tell that the kids don't believe you. But in this place, the microclimate is so amazing that you have trees like in the rainforest inside. So to do this activity there is really a unique spot. And also other ones next to Guayaquil, which I said to you before is the biggest city here in Ecuador. These are, as I said to you before, just 3 mentioned places, but today you find more than 20 places to do that. Rock climbing, well, we have right now athletes in Ecuador representing Ecuador worldwide, getting famous of rock climbing, and this is because this is a sport which has been developing a lot, and there are spots, there are prepared walls, there are places in the middle of the rainforest where you can do rock climbing, and there is one place, very famous place here in Ecuador, where you need a week to do all the different routes because there are so many different ones, which is Sixipamba or Cojitambo, especially Cojitambo in Cuenca. Cuenca is a very traditional culture town in Ecuador, which you find a lot of history and is also protected by the UNESCO. And El Cajas, this is the national park which connects the Andes with the Pacific coastline, and you go down from Cuenca through the National Park Cajas to Guayaquil, so it's a connecting national park and a unique place. And Sixipamba, which is just 1 hour away from Quito, you can combine that also with the rainforest because it's behind the Andes already on the way down to Tena. And as I said to you before, Tena is focused on river rafting and water activities. Finally, my sport. Biking, mountain biking, something that I have been practicing my entire life. This has been developing a lot. 10 years ago, we were 5 people competing between each other. Today, there's a waiting list after 10 minutes as soon as the event is open to get into a race. There are races, for example, around Cotopaxi, 2 days, which are 100 people in less than a minute trying to get a ticket for it, and on the event day there are 400, 500 people. And biking, there are many companies here in Ecuador providing this full service, also doing downhill, focused on downhill. We have just very close from Quito, you have places where you can get up with a cable car and go down with the biking in technical and also in easy ways down on downhilling, and of course on the Avenue of the Volcanoes, as you can see on this picture, is one of different many options that you have from Cotopaxi National Park, Chimborazo National Park, Cayambe National Park, that you can combine the highlands with a biking tour. Of course, you are biking on the altitude, but I go back what I was telling you before. You can do acclimatization on the other way. It's just not sleeping on the huts and waiting for for a good acclimatization. You can do many activities, enjoy amazing lodges and amazing spots, and after 5-6 days doing these activities, you are ready for big mountains. You can see here 3 of many other ones. The upper one, Salinas Chota, well, this is the only place we have here in Ecuador where you can combine a tour also where with different vegetations and cultures, and also where 5% of our Afro-Ecuadorian culture is focused. So there is an amazing tour that you can do there. In Chota, you are close to Ibarra. Ibarra has many lakes and also a special vegetation. And not far away from there, it's Páramo del Ángel. And Páramo del Ángel is also a unique forest, humid forest, dry forest also in some places, and you are on the border to Colombia. And we have other places to do biking, and for example the one on the right, combining Baños, going all the way down to Puyo. This is the waterfall avenue. You have here more than 50 different waterfalls. You can also leave your bike and hike down to the waterfalls, make some pictures, and continue with the bike. Even from Baños down to Puyo, there are 63 kilometers where you can combine trekking and also biking. And if you want to go further on from Puyo down to Tena to do river rafting, and even in Baños itself you can do river rafting and other activities. And the one on the coast, well, I told you before, this is the La Ruta del Sol, part of the Ruta del Sol. You have from Pedernales to Bahía de Caracas, Crucita. Crucita is also a place where is focused on kite surfing and also on paragliding. And behind this coastline, not far away, there are forests, so you can do there hiking and trekking with also amazing weather. This is one of many pictures that you can do combined with the glaciers. Biking, as I said to you before, there are so many places to do it. And also on the coast, as I was explaining you before, combining this forest. This is not far away from the coast line. This is around 20 minutes away with this forest, and there are a lot of waterfalls coming down from the Andes. You can follow the rivers by bike. There are technical trails. There are also a lot of mud. If you're looking for mud, there's also mud places where you can have really adventurous mountain biking. And of course, if you are not the technical biker, there are places from the Andes going all the way down to the Pacific coast, just following a good street with amazing view. Quicocha, well, this is my friend here, one of many different races that are organized here in Ecuador. Trail running with a lot of influence or European influence has become one of the most important activities here in Ecuador to do. Even for myself, I changed biking for trail running 2 years ago because it has been developing so hard that today it's really an amazing sport, and we are discovering or even rediscovering places that we did not know as in our childhood. Places, for example, this one on Laguna Quicocha. This is also a crater laguna, a crater lake combined with mountain climbing, where you can go up almost to 5,000 meters, which is Cotocachi with 4,980 meters altitude. So trail running in Ecuador is growing really in huge steps. These are 3 different spots in Ecuador where are focused on trail running. Of course, as I said to you before, even around Quito. Around Quito there are parks, the Parque Metropolitano, Pichincha, and many different other parks, as if you in New York would go to Central Park to go for a hike or for a trekking tour or even for a walking tour. Here you have Pichincha or have Metropolitano, so you can combine the city tour, and in the afternoon you can go for an hour running in the middle of forests. And there are a lot of technical trails. There are also easy trails, and even biking, as I said to you, with a cable car up and down from Quito. And we have here, for example, Cayambe, which is our third biggest mountain, our actually the most climbed glacier right now in Ecuador. Then we have Cochasquí, which are ruins, pre-Inca ruins, combined with an amazing trail down to the place of Otavalo, which is the most visited market in Ecuador. And Ibarra you can combine also with a train or different lagoons, and Atuntaqui, which is famous for its food, and Lagunas Mojanda. So here, the north of Ecuador, you can do so many things. It's just growing a lot, and which is unique about the north is the culture, the markets, the colors, the indigenous. It's really amazing to do. And here we have another one which is much more on the south of Ecuador, also combined with culture, with ruins, with pre-Inca culture. Well, this is your question. Does Ecuador have any big ruins like Machu Picchu? Well, not as huge as Machu Picchu, but we have many other ones which are pre-Inca ruins, and you can combine this with walking tours and also with trekking tours. Here we have another one. And also Cayambe is mentioned, which is the third biggest mountain in Ecuador. As I said to you before, even on the rainforest itself, they have been creating a lot of single trails for biking and for trail running. This picture you will ask for sure, where is it? And this is Quilotoa. This is also a crater lake, and the water color changes with the sun. With the sunrise, you get different colors of the water. You can surround this amazing place in 5 hours walking. There are 11 kilometers to walk, and you can also combine this place with culture. There are also small villages and towns around it. And if you don't want to walk too much and just enjoy a little bit the nature, there's also the possibility to go down the crater and touch the water or even jump inside. It's cold, I warn you, but for the pictures and for the boat ride, it's really a beautiful place. And here you can get also very traditional food, and it's a very developed place, and it's not next to the freeway, but the freeway is there 2 hours right from La Tacunga. They are amazing. They are really, compared with America, really huge streets going there where you can really be in the afternoon doing another activity. Then the low and medium altitude trekking. This is very important to mention. Many people come to Ecuador and say, I want to climb Chimborazo tomorrow. You need an acclimatization to climb these very huge mountains, and this is why we have so many activities also as low and medium altitude trekking. You can combine this with camping, with soft trekking, with soft tours to visit different lagoons, to visit different national parks, to do canopy, whatever you want to do, combining altitude. It's always very important to stay a couple of days in a certain altitude to get focused for the bigger mountains. You need a certain days so your body gets really acclimatized. This is my home, my backyard. I have climbed 200-300 peaks, glacier peaks here in Ecuador, and I was last weekend making the same as you see on the picture, filming a commercial at almost 6,000 meters. A lot of fun. Some of our mountains are technical. As I said to you before, we have almost 10 5,000ers, and there are different skills. Some of them, they are really hard and difficult to do, and there are other ones which are for beginners, definitely for everybody. Even I have had the opportunity to guide children, to guide people who have never been in the mountains, who have never wore any crampons, who have never hiked before. So this is the place where you can introduce to this amazing sport. Definitely, me as a guide, I've been in Kilimanjaro 11 times, I have been in Himalayas 2 times, in the Alps, and if people ask me how difficult Ecuadorian mountains are compared to other ones, you can compare them, of course, as a beginner mountains. You can here learn a lot, and as soon as you get used to the mountains, you can go for higher ones, for technical ones. Definitely the place to start. Trekking at the sea level, well, this is a combination between flora and fauna. Of course, Galapagos, you will be having a tour of 12 hours walking non-stop. Definitely not. It's a combination between having fun, having water activities, having watching activities, enjoying the nature, and also combining it with some activity, sports activity, as kayaking or as walking, as you can see here on the picture. This has been developing a lot, 2, 3, 4 hour tours, and as you can see here, also the paths, and completely, and from one slide to the other, you are from 6,000 meters down to sea level. You are from below 20 degrees up to 30 degrees plus, and you can see the people in shorts, and you can see here the people really wearing good clothes for cold weather temperatures. So you can see how diverse Ecuador is. This is what makes us unique. Even myself, I can tell you a story. Once I climbed Cotopaxi on the same afternoon. I went down with my friends to the coast, and I was playing football, soccer on the beach, and I was feeling dizzy. And my friends were asking me, what's wrong with you, Carl? And I said, I don't know, I feel dizzy. And they said, what did you do today? I said, I was at 6,000 meters just 4 hours ago. They say, well, this is not really healthy what you're doing. Please sit down. And they were laughing. This is how amazing our country is. Trekking in the jungle, we have been developing a lot. As I said to you before, the rainforest is in some places untouched. They are unique places. Even myself, I discover in the rainforest every trip new places. Every time I hear about new places, of course, we try to protect our rainforest. There are still places we don't want to touch, because they are animals that we could lose, and this is why we have really a lot of sensitive touch about the rainforest, and there are hundreds of different things to do in the rainforest. You can spend, if you are a rainforest lover, you could spend here 2-3 weeks doing bird watching, doing walks, doing different trekking tours, combining with biking, and of course, what I said to you before, these amazing water activities. Don't get scared about the quantity of people on the river. This is just a picture made on an event, but this is just to give you a little bit to know how huge our rivers are. This is probably the Napo River, which is the biggest river in Ecuador, going down in Peru into the amazing Amazon River. Here in Tena, in different places where the rivers go through, they have been developing a lot of agencies. These sports, they are certificated by Canada, by USA, by different places. There are a lot of English speaking guides, even more than we can imagine. Here in Tena, I have been many times there, and you don't expect anybody to speak so good English there, and you find out there are families living for generations there, because they are people living from the water. Actually, they cannot imagine another life as guiding and showing other people this amazing world. As I said to you before, if you get a shower here, it's kind of a warm shower. Quijos, Jatunyacu, and Paute are 3 of more than 400 rivers that we have. Definitely focus on river rafting. We have around 50 rivers in Ecuador. Quijos was the place where the World Championship was made, 2003. So Jatunyacu and Paute, they are also in different places located, but around Quijos you have 5-6 different rivers, and you are very close to the rainforest. Jatunyacu the same. Jatunyacu is just an hour drive from Tena, and as I said to you, from Tena the tours to the rainforest are starting. There is even a military small airport there. You can also land in Coca. Coca has also connection to the biggest river in Ecuador, and if you want to do river rafting on the Andes, Paute would be a place to do. As I said to you, the rivers are starting from our glaciers, from our lagoons in the altitude, so they go all the way down to the rainforest or to the coast. Diving in Galapagos, well, there are no words to describe you how amazing this is, with sharks, with turtles, and with hundreds of different animals that you can do that. Of course, it's a unique spot worldwide. In Galapagos itself, you have many islands where you can do this, as you can see here on our left, or even on the Pacific coast. I was telling you before, there is a small Galapagos island, the mini Galapagos island, we tell. It's just an hour drive by boat from the coastline, and you see many birds like in Galapagos, Isla de la Plata, and you can also, once again, do a lot of activities with La Ruta del Sol. And we have in Cuicocha, one of the many different lakes that we have in Ecuador. Cuicocha is a crater lake, so the vegetation underwater is very special. In the rainforest itself, there are not many spots for scuba diving, but a lot of water activities. But in Galapagos itself, scuba diving has been developing a lot. Surfing, we have athletes worldwide, famous athletes competing in World Cups, in World Championships, ranked under the top 10. So Ecuador has been growing a lot in this activity too. As I said to you before, the water temperature is just unique. With 26, 25 degrees Celsius, you could be 8 hours in the water if you like. And for people who don't want to do so much sport but would like to surf or to learn and combine it with something else, there are Spanish lessons everywhere on the coastline. There are a lot of places where you can learn many other different things. You can get connected. Even, as I said to you, the zipline activities, or trekking, hiking, and biking around the coastline combined with surfing. And also, if I'm talking about surfing, I'm talking about also windsurfing. You can do in Ecuador, even in the lakes and the Andes lakes, and also kite surfing. The schools for surfers are for beginners, and also for people who want to do a lot of action, and there are some spots in the coastline with strong waves, but many of our coasts, they have really conditions for learning, which is the most important thing. Surfing is focused on even on Galapagos, in San Cristobal, as you can see, and also on the coastline, Canoa, Montañita, Crucita, and other places not mentioned here along our 1,000 kilometer coastline. Horseback riding, well, the first impression you will have in this picture is they are wearing traditional clothes, which this is something that a lot of lodges are doing to get back to our roots, to be a chagra, as we say here in Ecuador, our cowboys of the mountains, our chagras. They are wearing hats, they are wearing these coats because it's not very cold, but sometimes it can be windy, and you can feel also in the early morning hours, you can feel a little bit of cold, but combined with this amazing view, with this amazing altitude. And once again, this is an activity for acclimatizing also, so you can combine it for trekking and hiking tours. Horseback riding has been developing a lot in our lodges, and many of our Andes lodges are providing already this service, and this is for beginners as well as for people who would like to do a 3-day horse tour. Whatever you are looking for, you will find it here definitely about horseback riding. Even on the coast, in Manabí, for example, they are once again in the Ruta del Sol, this possibility for horseback riding. In Babura, which is the north of Ecuador, where you can do a lot of culture activities too. And on Cotopaxi area, Cayambe area, and different regions around Quito. Then we have 4 suggested routes to practice one of the several adventure activities. This is very important to mention. These are 4 suggested routes, but we have many other ones. We can create other ones as you would like to do it, as depending how many days, what kind of guests that you have here for Ecuador, if they are very experienced one, or if they would like to discover a little bit. So the ones we really recommend you are these 4 ones. Starting with number 1, as you can see on the map, this between the Pacific and the Andes, from Salinas, Guayaquil, Bucay, goes down from the very Andes down to the coastline, visiting the biggest city of Ecuador, which is Guayaquil, and the small Miami that we have here in Ecuador, which is called Salinas, with a lot of buildings and a lot of surfing activities and also nightlife. Then we have the route number 2, which is the Amazon route, the jungle adventure. This is much more with water activities. Quijos, Tena, Baños. As I said to you, Baños is a very important place for adventure sports. You can find there so many activities. You will feel sorry if you stay here just a few hours. You need a couple of days to do all you would like to do there. Then we have the Pacific Coast, the Spondylus Trail, which is once again around finding the Ruta del Sol. You can do that also, all the entire trail by bike if you would like to do that, also from one place to the other, trekking, or even also in some places doing water activities. And the 4th one, which is the Northern Andes, on the Andes coast. Actually, if you are on the northern part of Ecuador, you are close to Otavalo, you are close to Quicocha. We saw some pictures from Quicocha before, Cotacachi. So the northern part of Ecuador combined with this adventure sports is also something that I really recommend you to do. Ecuador's Adventures Hub City. What is a hub city? Is actually where you can start your tour. All these places are very good connected with public transportation, or even some of them have an airport, and they have very good roads there, freeways there. So from here you can start your circuit, you can start your activity, 1-day activity or 10-day activity or 30-day activity, whatever you are looking for, combined with hiking, with trekking, with biking, with all these different activities you would like to. Ecuador Adventure events coming in the next months, this year and next year. Well, the non-stop 24 hours, this is an adventure race, a fast adventure race. Normally adventure races, they take 5, 6, 7 days non-stop, but even to race 1 day, 24 hours is unique. You cross sometimes one vegetation to the other one. Just last year, the non-stop crossed from the Andes down to the rainforest. Then something which is unique is the Galapagos Triathlon, because we don't want to leave any trace, any paths there. This is why Galapagos Triathlon is the only event in the Galapagos Islands, and then it's of course amazing if you are swimming with turtles, and if you are on the bike and you see also a land turtle crossing. It's unique, definitely. Then we have the water festival, Yondachi Rafting Fest, and different other events coming. Then we have complementary activities, different ones, as for example bird watching. Together with Costa Rica, Ecuador has the most biggest bird species in the world. So you can find here in Tena, in the rainforest, or in Mindo, 1 hour away from Quito, birds that you have never heard about or even known about before. Even myself, I was working as a guide in the rainforest for a couple of weeks, and I was learning, like in university, about so many birds that we have here. The whale watching, you know that whales are swimming from the very south of our continent to our coast to get birth there and to feed themselves, as the water temperature is of course in winter time. For here in Ecuador we don't have winter, so they come all the way north to our country to feed there that month. They have a lot of fish here, so they stay 3, 4, 5 months in Ecuador, and you can see them very close. You can have boat rides next to the ocean and even in Galapagos to watch all these amazing whales. Then we have camping. Once again, this is an activity where you can combine with acclimatizing. As the picture you can see with Sincholagua is almost 5,000 meters high, and these tents, they are lying on almost 4,000 meters altitude. You can do camping next to a lodge if you wish to do it, or also deep in the mountains. There are 3, 4 different trekking areas where you can do really camping for 5, 6, 7 days, following by donkeys and following all this amazing Andes, crossing from Cayambe to Cotopaxi or from Antisana to Cotopaxi, the Inca Trail, and so on. Here in Ecuador you have many different possibilities for camping, and of course if you would like to come with your children and do it easier way, there are also facilities for doing camping in middle in the parks, and there are camping areas with showers, with toilets, and also with barbecue places where you can do it on the way softly. Travel and tips recommended. You will get this presentation later on, so you can read them very easily and writing everything down. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to let us know. Something very important to mention is that in Ecuador you can be on the same day with shorts and wearing them in Quito, even on 3,000 meters altitude. You can visit the town with a t-shirt and with shorts if you want. Altitude is not always related with cold temperatures, especially here in Ecuador where we are so close to the sun. Why is Ecuador under the top 10? Actually, we have 4 worlds so close, these 4 vegetations that I was mentioning to you before. They are 4 completely different worlds. It's one to the other, not comparable, and they are very close to each other. The variety of activities, the wide diversity of ecosystems, the complementary activities I said to you before, the bird watching and all these different activities. The air connectivity, well, the airports that we have, the land connectivity, the freeways that we have, the infrastructure, the lodges that we have, which are unique. The quality, of course, Ecuador has been developing tourism many years ago, so the quality is top. The experience is also well done. A lot of our mountain guides, for example, they work some months in Peru, some months in Colombia, and the rest of the year in Ecuador, so they can really bring a lot of experience back here to Ecuador. Our guides also, they get certificated in Bolivia for the international mountain certification, so they are guides who have been traveling a lot. They know the Alps, they know a lot of places, and the safety, of course, goes always first in our country. Definitely any activity you want to do here in Ecuador has a lot of certifications by our guides. They are professionals in their sports. For further information, please follow us. There are many ways to follow us. This is one of them. And please don't miss the next webinar. Be an expert on Galapagos, which will be in on October, not September, it's in October 2015, and this will be in English and also in Spanish. We will give you right now a question to answer, please. We would be appreciated if you could help us if you think this presentation have helped you to know a little bit more about the adventure in Ecuador and what we are providing here. You will have 1 minute to answer this question. I hope. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and please follow us. Please follow us also in our Facebook account, How to Sell Ecuador and its Galapagos Islands, and also as well as in our Twitter account at Equa Trade. I will show you further on this also on your screen. We are about to close right now this question. Something which is very important about Cotopaxi activities, as you know, Cotopaxi is since around 4 or 5 weeks is active right now. It's unclimbable right now, but please follow any updates about the activity of the volcano under this webpage mentioned here, volcanocotopaxi.com, because you hear a lot in the media which is not truth or which is not the reality here in Ecuador. This is the only place you can get all the information, the exact information about the volcano activity and everything which has to do with it. And there are also online webcams where you can follow it. Once again, please follow us in on our Facebook account, How to Sell Ecuador and its Galapagos Islands, as well as in our Twitter account at EquaTravelTrade. You will get 5 questions right now to answer, and I would like we will answer also your questions, of course. This is for Jess. Yes, definitely. If responding your question, I'm due to be in Ecuador in October. Should I expect good weather? Jess, yes. For climbing or for outdoor activities, October is a great month. A little bit of rain showers are coming on the end of October, but it doesn't matter for doing adventure sports as the rain is coming just for a few minutes in the afternoon. It's not like in Europe raining for hours or days. Here in Ecuador, when the rain comes, it's not going so much. I give you Rodrigo, which will help me also to answer your questions.
Hello everybody, this is the time when we open the forum. So as we're a team, we have many people experts in adventure. So we have another interesting question. It says that they want to know, somebody wants to know about El Niño, the warm current. How does create special conditions for adventure? So it says how and what kind of special conditions. So well, the thing is that in Ecuador, two currents meet, which is El Niño and Humboldt. And that's what actually creates the conditions, the special conditions, because then, first of all, you have currents, you have waves created by the combination of warm water and cold water in the same place. That's what creates special conditions, especially for surfing in this case. When you go to the Galapagos, it's really good because you can start diving in warm weather, in warm waters. You go a little deeper, and then suddenly the waters become cold, and you go a little further down under the sea, and then the water is again um, and the water then is again cold. So that's one of the things that I like about the currents that arrive to Ecuador, because they create special weathers. For example, when we have El Nino, it rains a little bit more. So if it rains more, we have more condensation. We have more snow in the Andes, which means that we will have more whitewater rafting in the other side, going to the jungle. So this is the kind of conditions that are created by the different currents arriving to Ecuador. So let's go to the next question right now. We have many questions, so we will try to put them all together. Let us check. Could you repeat the recommended routes? Well, actually, this presentation is going to be online. in both formats. The recorded one, when you can hear Carl speaking, and the other one where you can only see the PowerPoint. So actually, the PowerPoint can be also used by you to train your travel agents. So if you want to repeat the same webinar, in that case, you can become the speaker and you can teach everyone else about what you learned about adventure in Ecuador today. Somebody asks if is the Cotopaxi Park closed for tourism indefinitely. Well, actually, the Cotopaxi National Park is right now closed. It will depend on how the activity of the Cotopaxi goes, if it increases or decreases. There are some volcanoes like the Tungurahua, for example, that have been active for the last 15 years. There are some other volcanoes like El Arenal in Costa Rica, for example, I visited many years ago. It has been active for many years as well. And then we will have to organize different kind of visits. Besides, I will also say there is a really good chance to know that in Ecuador there is not only one place with snow, which is the Cotopaxi, but there are several other places, and we can combine these activities. Like for example, we can do horseback riding in the Cotopaxi, which can be performed right now in safe places, and you can actually get to see the volcano eruption from there, from the other side, while you're horseback riding. And besides, you can also go down to Chimborazo, which is not far off to the Ilineses. So this is kind of the things that we have. Then we have another question. Carl is going to answer that one.
There's a question about if there's other extreme sports here in Ecuador, as for example canyoning. Well, yes, definitely in Baños, in Pucay, there are canyoning, there are bungee jumping, there are many other activities not mentioned under the top 10, but there are many other extreme sports. Also, downhill is one of the extreme sports that you can do here in Ecuador. Ice climbing also in our glaciers in Antisana or in Cotopaxi in the west side, or even in Chimborazo, there are spots where you can do ice climbing.
Actually, just to add to this is that in Ecuador you can actually practice all sports ending in English with ing. The only sport that probably is not so easy to practice here is skiing because the snow is really high. But normally in Ecuador, you can practice all sports that end with ing, even crossing the street.
There's also a question if the entire tourism here in Ecuador has have been suffering about Cotopaxi's activity. Well, actually not yet, because a lot of groups have been confirmed to come to Ecuador, and we have a lot of variety. We have been changing itineraries, especially for those guests who have been planning to come directly for Cotopaxi climb. There are many other mountains to climb, and the circuit doesn't change a lot. It's you have here different options, different probabilities to do. It's not just that we have one mountain. We have 157 mountains to climb, and you can combine also culture and everything around in safe places, of course.
There is another question about what are the most used airports from the southeastern U.S. Right now, the connecting flights coming to Ecuador from the United States are through Houston, with direct flight from Houston to Quito. Another one from Atlanta, it also does the route Atlanta-Quito. There is another flight coming from Miami. There is another route with the local airline Tammy that goes through Fort Lauderdale and also from New York. And actually, by the end of this year, a new route will be open, which is with American Airlines flying from Dallas Fort Worth directly nonstop to Quito. So that one is not operating yet, but by the end of this year, we have passengers for the end of this year. For next year, you can actually start thinking about American Airlines flying through Dallas Fort Worth. Well, we have some other questions. Let's see. Renting car, Mr. Well, there is an interesting question about rent a car in Ecuador. Um, it is easy to drive here in Ecuador. Right now, the road network has been increased a lot and it has a good quality. However, there is one little detail that you have to be aware of is that we have different geography. So you can start driving at sea level, and then just in a couple of hours, you're going to be driving in the mountains. And that's something that people are not so used to, especially from people coming from the United States. I mean, I have driven in the United States for hours, and it's all flat. You don't see any mountain. It's all flat and all, and this is just like a straight line. But when you drive here and you especially start crossing the mountains, you have a lot of bending routes, and it goes up and down. So that's the only thing that you will have to be careful about, because you're not used to this kind of geography. But then, in general terms, you can also rent a car and organize your own tour. Well, I think that now I'm going to pass to Carl, because we are over the time now, and we thank you for your questions. Just one thing I forgot to mention when I introduced Carl, I just want to let you know that we call him the record man, because he holds three speed climbing world records. So he holds the fastest climb up and down the Cotopaxi volcano, the Kilimanjaro in Africa, and the Aconcagua, which is the highest mountain in the Andes of South America. So the person who has been talking to you and addressing to you in adventure, I think is an authority to talk about these things. So, Carl, right now it's time for you to say goodbye. And from my part, thank you for listening to this webinar.
Thank you, Rodrigo, for those big words for me. Definitely has been an honor to talk to you. I wish you an amazing day, an amazing week, and it was a pleasure, really. I hope you can visit us one day to Ecuador. Bye bye.